Welcome to the second Jaguar interview on the new F-Gear channel. We started off with Michael Quinn, Sir William's grandson. Who best to follow with on our second interview with Norman Dewis, the great legend who is now 91, who developed so many of the great Jaguar sports cars. Joined Jaguar in 1952, and was with them till he retired in 86, since when he's been a tremendous ambassador for Jaguar, travelling the world. So, splendid to see you here today, yeah, Norman. Are you enjoying this amazing display?
Oh yes, it's fantastic. It was nice yesterday to be on the track with 77RW and 9600HP. They were the two leading contenders of the E-Type as the first production cars. And they were my development cars as well, yes, for quite a period of time.
Yes, and of course we have 96HP over here. Let's wander over and have a look, shall we?
Yeah, sure.
So you had a variety of prototypes first, which were such as E1A and E2A, and then you had some road-going cars.
I had a couple of road-going cars. They were just basics, but these were the first what we call pre-production build.
Right.
And so we didn't have too many for development, so this was used for development.
Yes.
And 77RW.
Yes.
So you got the fixed head and the open road.
Sure. And you started off.
So this did many test miles before it got into your people's hands and the press people. Yeah.
Indeed. Well, this was built in late 1960, and you, as you say, did a lot of development work. And you also had an overseas trip or two doing development work on it, I think.
I took this one down to Italy on several occasions. I even used it as a car to go and sort out a test route down in Bayonne for doing the Mark 10s.
Yes, which followed in late 61, yes.
This was the car that I used, and they'd never seen it down in Bayonne, so it created a lot of a lot of attention.
Absolutely.
And they still do today. I mean,
yes, extraordinary, isn't it? Absolutely. And then it was lent to the press for the road test, the 150 mile an hour speed, etc. Yes. And you were developing the car and you were getting it prepared for the various road testers and so on. Now, the car just did 150, but there are a few little features like racing tyres, like bigger wheels, one or two things.
Well, the point is, when you're looking at trying to get maximum speeds out of these cars, it doesn't matter whether it's Jaguar or Ferrari, you must have the right conditions. You must have the tyre pressures right.
Yes.
It's no good having crosswinds or things like that. It's got to be a perfectly still day so that you equal each run each way, whichever you're doing, and you get the mean of it. But I mean, some of these press people, no disrespect to them, they were going out with a sort of a headwind of 15, 20 miles an hour. That's no good. So all right, they were getting 147. We just make the 150. But I proved to them, we took it to Mahra and did the 150, showed them how to do it.
You spent a lot of your life at Mahra, didn't you, really? The test track, the Motor Industry Research Station test track. And you've got many tales to tell. I remember the one about when you had to test at night because the wind tunnel. Tell us about that and the local village.
The wind tunnel test that we used to do at Mahra was these were all done in the wind tunnel. First a model and then the finished article. And of course when they first started the wind tunnel at Mahra, we used to have a wind speed of about 80 miles an hour pulled through the honeycomb through. And what happened, we were doing this basically in the sort of late afternoon, and all the people in Higham village complained about getting onto the electricity board. All the lights were going out in the village. So the electricity board come out and checked everything. They said, well, we can't find anything wrong. Then one of the experts came out and we were running the wind tunnel at the max, and he picked this up. He came down to mine and he said, hey, what are you running here? So they looked and said, hey, this is what's draining the power. So what they said, you can still use this facility and absorb the electricity, but please do it after midnight when they've all gone to bed. So we used to be doing the wind tunnel tests at 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock in the morning. So
extraordinary.
These were all ways that we achieved.
Incredible hours you used to work in those days, and amazing amount of mileage. Any idea how much mileage you clocked up in your career?
No, but one instance on what we call the outer circuit of Mahra, that was a triangle with the 3 bank corners.
Yes.
From I think it was 1953 to 1972, I'd accomplished 1.25 million miles at over 100 miles an hour.
Incredible.
That's all recorded because every time you went, you had to sign on and sign off. So
Yes.
Dolby, who was the track manager, when I retired, presented us with this fact as part of my retirement. So it's another record achieved that nobody else has beaten.
Fantastic. Well, just walking around these
yeah,
cars,
sure.
Norman. I mean, you must feel very proud when you see all these cars, and something like 1,000 here this weekend, and all done by you, created by you. Your colleagues designed them.
A team of people, probably 14 of us in the team.
Very small number.
You've got Bob Knight on the suspension.
Yes.
You've got Malcolm Sayer on the body. Brilliant aerodynamics.
Absolutely.
One of the best.
Absolutely.
Well, this is one of his
Isn't it?
creations.
Yes.
C-type and D-type he
Yes.
did. XJ13.
Extraordinary.
And so we've got Claude Bailey doing the engine
Yes.
stuff, and Haynes, he was in charge of the lot.
Yes.
So just a small team, it just shows you what you can achieve.
Absolutely.
Providing everybody in that team is an expert in his own right, this was it.
Yes.
So what they did, when they put it together, they gave it to me, and then I had to knock it into shape and
Sure.
sign it off for
Yes.
production or for racing.
Yes.
Big responsibility, but
Yes.
looking at it now, what we achieved is fantastic.
It is, isn't it? Absolutely fabulous. 50 years on. Did you ever imagine for 1 second that these cars you were...
No. If I'd have known what was going to come over these years, I'd have put 2 or 3 away for installing C-type, D-type,
Absolutely.
and a D-type.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd have been a multi-millionaire. Probably.
You would indeed. You would indeed. Well, you were also testing, of course, some of the rivals' cars whilst you were doing all this as well. The manufacturers, to assess what they were like and
tested
report.
Ferrari,
Yes.
GT40, Ford.
Yes.
And I did a Maserati. And so these were really, Aston Martin, we tried an Aston Martin against ours.
Yes.
So these were trying competitors' cars against to see how we rated our car against them.
Indeed.
And always we could just try and push our nose in front a little bit, Not with the disc brakes.
Yes.
We were the first out with the disc brake.
Absolutely. I was going to mention, one of the first things you did was to develop the disc brake.
With Dunlops, of course.
Indeed.
They designed it and we developed it, Jaguar.
And every car on the road today has disc brakes.
And everybody, I look around now and I think, I feel very, very proud to think we did introduce something very vital to the motor.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
On the safety factor.
Yes.
Because the old drum brakes were not bad, but if you went through water, you got no pedal.
Sure, and they could pull and that sort of thing and fade.
Disc brake, beautiful. Everybody's got disc brakes.
Absolutely.
Created.
And you developed them?
Yeah, we played a big part.
Yeah. Well, any other high spots in your career? What else?
There's many stories and tales.
Absolutely. And indeed, you travel the world today telling them.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
I mean, when they built the Marder test track, it was a triangle shape.
Yes.
A corner, a banking at each corner, 2.8 miles for a lap. They built that, and we'd been using it for about 6 or 7 months. And at the top of the banking, to save you going over the top, we had these posts and wires, two wires going through the post. And it was always said, Dr. Fogg, who was the director, he designed a lot of it, and they'd been onto him and said, look, are you sure those posts and wires would stop a car going over the top? Because it's a big drop if you go over. Oh, he said, yeah, I've calculated it, but it had never been proven. But on this one occasion, I was driving the Mark 7. I was doing some high-speed engine work, keeping the engine going around about 5,800 lap after lap, and stopped for lunch, had a bit of lunch, went back on the circuit. I'd been running for about half an hour, and suddenly I felt the back move a little bit. Next lap round, I felt it again, but this time the back went and shot me straight into the fence, so I hit the post. The wires bent and sprung me back on the track, and I spun down, stopped at the bottom of the banking, got out, and I thought, what's caused it? I looked at the tyre, thought perhaps the tyre had done, but it hadn't. And then I saw all these posts. I broke 13 posts, the wires all hanging. Dolby, the track manager, had seen it from the control tower. He came out and said, what's happened, Norman? I said, I don't know, Frank. I said, the back end just suddenly went. I said, but the tyres are all right. He walked back and he said, here's the problem. and there was a damp patch on the banking, and that had frozen. The ambient had dropped during the running, and my back tyre just hit it and sunk it. So we learned a lesson from that. He then called Dr. Fogg, director. He came down in his car and he stopped, and I thought, I'm going to be in trouble over this, you know. So he looked and he started laughing. I said, what are you laughing at? He said, Norman, thank you very much indeed. I said, why? He said, you've proved the point. My point is that you did not go over the top. So he said, thank you very much. So instead of getting a bit of a scolding, I got praise for it.
So you're not only a test driver, but a track test driver as well.
Yeah, but what we learned from it was that while you're doing this hour after hour, the ambient, you don't know. So what they did then, we put a post with a flashing light. So as soon as the ambient dropped to a freezing point, the light flashed so we could see it and then come off the track. But I mean, these are all things you acquire and learn during the development, even the test track, on the car.
Yes, good stuff. Now, this of course is a fixed head, but the open Roadster model, brilliant car, great car.
Yeah, same as this one. Yeah.
Few problems occasionally. Some of us Jaguar owners today, a few problems with leaks. What do you think about that?
Oh, when the hood's up.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you want to
pouring with rain.
Well, if you want to drive with the hood up, that's great. But there was a leak problem from the top of the screen where the hood goes. It used to lift a bit, and I mean, since this has happened over the years, people say to me, Norman, the water comes in. I said, well, it's easy, just get a piece of tape and stick over and the hood's up. But there was a purpose for it.
There was a purpose?
Yeah. Oh. Well, I think there is, because this is how I look at it. The guy gets up in the morning, he's a bit late for work, don't have time for a shower, so he gets in the E-Type, it's raining, he's got a nice spray there and he's driving along, he's having a shower. It's a beautiful condition for him.
You've got an answer for everything, haven't you?
I try to have.
So here we are, this amazing meeting. As you say, it's an enormous family worldwide, this Jaguar family, as Michael was saying.
And the part of it is, Philip, is the pleasure it gives me for all these cars. I mean, we've got over 800 plus.
Yes.
Was to go out yesterday and lead the parade, be in front, and I thought that was. I looked in the mirror.
Rightly so.
And it was like a swarm of bees at the back. I thought, look at these cars all behind. The only snag was we were going a bit too slow with the pace car.
Yes.
And it was a bit naughty there, the Maserati leading. That wasn't very good.
That was unfortunate.
Somebody slipped there.
Yes.
It should have been a Jaguar XJ or XF.
Yes.
But these mistakes are made. We learn from them.
Absolutely. Well, you're obviously so proud of all that you did with Jaguar. We're so proud to own Jaguars.
That's right.
And isn't it just absolutely wonderful? It's all terribly positive in this day and age.
And just to conclude myself, it's everybody I meet is Jaguar family. We've still got this family spirit.
Yes.
We want to still create that, keep that going wherever I go in America or what. We still talk about the Jaguar family. So let's keep the Jaguar family going while we can, and I'll do my best to keep it going.
Norman, we're standing here in front of this display of E-Types here at Silverstone. It's an extraordinary sight, isn't it?
Well, it is really, because when we look, how many are here.
Yes.
I would imagine this is probably the biggest turnout we've had of E-Types.
Yes, I think that's pretty definite.
Marvellous, isn't it?
And here from all over the world.
All over the world, yeah.
We've just had our tour to Geneva in Italy, and we had South Africans, Australians, Americans, people from all over Europe, and this passion of which we keep talking runs throughout with all of them. And here we are. It's an amazing sight.
Yeah, the amazing thing is, Philip, is the creation of the E-Type. Whichever you look at, the fixed head, the open, they're not outdated today, 50 years later. I mean, you just look at it. And, one of the best things that I probably mentioned it before was I was at Geneva this year to create the launch, what we did in 1961.
Yes.
And I'd just done an interview with the television people on the show stand. They'd gone, and we'd got the original fixed head that was on show when we launched it.
Yes.
So, but it was immaculate, beautiful. Next to it, just farther up, was the new Jaguars that had been launched. And I'd finished all this interviewing, they'd gone, and this lady and her husband came onto the stand. He went and looking at the new one. She came over and was looking at the fixed head E-type, and she was going around it, you know, looking and looking inside. And he then came across and he said, she said, "John?" He said, "Yes." She said, "Is this the new Jaguar?" He said, No. He said, "This is 50 years old." He said, "That's the new Jaguar." So she didn't even go over to her. She just looked. She said, "I'd sooner have this one." So I thought, what a commendation for the E-type.
It is an absolute icon. Isn't it?
I mean, she probably wasn't a car maniac or anything like us, but she,
to her, had style.
The old E-type was more in her desires than the new one. I thought that was marvellous, you know.
Absolutely. Well, Sayer was a genius, wasn't he?
Oh yes, yeah.
Stunning what he created, and yet he hated to be called a stylist. He was an aerodynamicist.
He was an aerodynamicist.
Yes.
And I worked with him very closely in the wind tunnel, and also we worked. Not only after the wind tunnel, we then did what we call the wool tuft test.
Yes.
We used to buy a skein of wool in the wool shop, going over to the test track.
Yes.
Sellotape, and we used to cut these wool into 4 inches. And he used to put lines all over the car, and we'd stick these wool tufts all over.
Yes.
And then drive the car through the air, and we could see. I would observe from the cockpit all around the screen and the side, the interior, and Malcolm then would be in another car being driven.
Yes.
And he would observe the wool tufts at the rear, the front, and the sides, and that told you just as much as you got in the wind tunnel.
Really, yes. It
because
indicated
you
problems.
can see the old wool tuft. Sometimes they're coming up and going forward. You know, you're moving. Turbulence.
Yes.
So that then compared then with the wind tunnel figures, you know.
Yes.
So that was all good stuff.
Terrific that he got these wonderful shapes that look so stylish and artistic, pure sculpture, but also for the period very aerodynamically efficient.
That's right.
It's a great,
that's right.
magical
and of course,
mix.
The other big thing you've got to remember is that the breakthrough that we made with this car was that it followed the D-type principle, whereby you did away with the chassis.
Sure. Yes.
Now the old principle was you had a chassis, you put a body on.
Yes.
The E-type came out following the D-type, of course, but in production, to produce it for the public, this was a new innovation. You had a 3-part car.
Yes.
You had the tub, you had a subframe bolted to it to carry the engine, suspension, and a rear independent subframe bolted into the body lid.
Yes.
So that was a following on an aircraft principle again, because if you take a single-seater aircraft, again, a single-seater aircraft, you had the cockpit, you had a subframe bolted to it, carrying the engine, and the same principle.
Yes.
But we were the first out with it, new breakthrough on producing a car, and I think it was about 2 years later, the Formula One boys started to use the same principle. So Jaguar was just that little bit ahead all the time, you know.
The rest of the world has always been trying to catch up Jaguar.
Oh yes, yeah. Well, that was always the point.
Let's take a walk through the cars.
Sure.
Do you have a particular preference for the fixed head or the Roadster?
No.
Or the 2+2?
I like the fixed head, really.
Yes.
It's a nice car.
It's amazing.
It's a bit quieter as well.
I was following one today, and such a pure shape.
Yeah.
It's stunning, isn't it?
Yeah, but look at this array.
Absolutely, isn't it incredible? Down all these noses. The elliptical mouth.
That's right.
Says Jaguar, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Jaguar have got to continue to use this with their sports cars because it's just so iconic. It's stunning.
Now I always remember when we'd launched it at Geneva, during the demonstration runs we were doing up this hill, taking people in. I always remember Enzo Ferrari came over and his cars were running up the hill as well, Ferraris. He came over and took a look, and he just walked round it. I knew him quite well because I'd tested in Italy, and he said, "Norman," he said, "what a car." He said, "There's only one thing wrong with it." I said, what's wrong? He said, he hasn't got a Ferrari badge on. I thought that was a very good compliment from him.
It's amazing, isn't it? Extraordinary.
He said it's a beautiful shape.
Yes, yes.
We couldn't better it.
And one of the great things today is that each of the different models has its own qualities.
Oh,
so
yeah.
therefore,
Yep.
you can't say one is the best
No,
or
no,
anything.
no.
And so we have enthusiast owners who may have a 2+2
That's right. Yep.
or a Series
That's
3,
right.
Series 1, etc., etc. They all have their
Yeah.
good points,
That's right.
which is very healthy and great. And there's wonderful following all over the world.
I'll tell you what, looking around, Philip, at the cars, have you noticed how the red seems to be predominant?
Yes,
on the E-Type?
yes. It's very true.
All reds.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Extraordinary, isn't it?
Red has a fascination for the E-Type. I don't know why.
Absolutely.
People like red, but there you are.
It's the
nice.
sports car
Sports
colour,
car,
I guess.
that's right, yeah,
we have
yeah.
these things called Ferraris over here. There's a lot of red. They're all red.
They're all red.
But we've got a variation.
Variation,
And they
that's
do
right.
look stunning
That's
in
right. Yeah.
silver blue and the dark colours.
Dark colours.
Every colour
white.
seems to suit the
Yeah,
E-Type.
that's right.
Extraordinary.
And I mean, one of the beauties of it was, those days, we were always looking for the export market.
Absolutely,
The
it's
dollar,
crucial.
The dollar was a big thing to bring
Crucial.
into the UK.
Yes.
And this cracked it well.
Yes.
Because the Americans really went for the E-Type.
Yes.
They wanted the E-Type, you know.
Absolutely.
So
Or
that-
XKE, as of course they
XKE,
called it.
that's right, yeah.
Yes.
So that really stamped Jaguar again in America for a
Yes.
top car.
Absolutely.
Top car. So,
Fabulous image, fantastic brand, and that's what kept Jaguar going
Kept
through the
Jaguar-
dark days.
that's right,
They went
exactly.
through later on with British Leyland and all that sort of mess.
Don't talk to us about British
No,
Leyland.
I think we'll move on.
That's right. Let's move
Excellent.
on from that.
We'll
Terrible
keep
days.
positive.
Yeah.
Okay, we're now heading towards the Eagle stand. Now, do you know anything about this, Norman? This is a concept that Eagle have come up with. They're famous E-Type specialists, of
Yes,
course, and they
I
do
know
all
the
their
Eagle people, yes,
upgraded
yes, yeah.
cars. And they've come up with this, what they think that Sayer might have done, you might have developed if the car had continued. It's in a sense, it's an old-fashioned concept like the Porsche Speedster, the sort of
yes.
American concept with a completely open car, no hood, etc. But also, it's mechanically upgraded, taking the concept to another stage. And it'd be very interesting to see what you think of this lovely car. I think it's tremendous, but it'd be interesting to see what you think.
Well, of course, I've heard about it, but I haven't had the opportunity to look at it.
No, you
yet,
haven't seen it yet at all.
I haven't seen it
no.
at all.
Well, it'd be very interesting to see
So
what your reaction
It'll
is.
be very interesting to look
Yes,
at it and see
yes.
what it's about, you know.
Absolutely. And we're lucky with the weather, aren't
Oh,
we, today?
well,
Gosh,
it's glorious,
it
isn't it?
makes such a difference. Yes.
I mean, look at the people sitting by their E-Types.
Yes,
Look at
yes,
this, eh?
yes.
Beautiful.
Yes.
I think they're on the beach at Southend or somewhere.
Very British of us to talk about
Very
the weather,
British, that's
but then
right.
it's a very British car,
That's right.
and
that's
which
right.
we're very proud
Yep,
of.
Yep.
We're going past the Jaguar stand here.
Yes.
I was
these
driving
are
the new
ones.
XKRS the other day. I very naughtily got it up to, I shouldn't say, 178
Oh,
on a
dear,
motorway in a
yeah,
certain
yes,
country.
yeah.
I won't say which country. Amazing that
You had
how
taken the
stable.
handbrake off, had you?
I think I had. Yes, of course that's slow to you, I know. But tremendous, and things have moved on so much. I mean, the
Oh,
stability.
right, yeah.
It felt at that speed as though you're doing about 80.
Yep.
It's just so
Mind
much.
you, I
ground.
had one of the XF
Yes.
last year,
Yes.
and unfortunately, the police had me 4 times in 10 months speeding. So they took it off me now. They've given me an XS state.
Disgraceful behaviour.
It is terrible.
Gentlemen of your age, you should know better. So you haven't
No,
slowed down
no.
yet, then, Norman?
No. Can't,
When you
can't slow
do you
down.
think when you get past 100, you might slow down a little
Well, my ambition is, which I told them all at Heritage, the ambition I've got, hopefully if I can reach 100, is to drive the XJ13 at 100 mile an hour.
bit? Oh, terrific.
That's an ambition to achieve.
That would be great. Hope we're there to see
That's
it.
it.
Right, here we
Right.
are. This is the Eagle Speedster.
Yeah.
Deeper sills, de-seamed
Yes.
on the bonnet. This sort of slightly sculptured rear behind the seats.
Yeah.
It's still very much E-Type. It's taking the concept a little bit
This
further.
is a bit lower on the screen.
Yes, it is.
It
Yeah,
looks-
more
it looks-
raked.
It looks more
More
raked
raked
and a bit
and-
lower. That's
yes.
right. Thank you. Thank you.
No hood, no compromises. It's a car for good weather.
Oh dear. And there you are talking about me with the screen and the You're going to get wet in this one in Britain.
Yeah, this is mainly, I think, for the States, really.
It's got to be.
Of course, it doesn't rain.
It's just what I call a summer car.
Yes.
I think in England, you don't bring this out in the summer. When we get a summer.
So, what do you think, Norman?
Well,
Very stylish.
very stylish. It very much looks the E-Type.
Exactly.
principle.
Yes.
I like the steering wheel. That's nice.
Yes.
3-spoke.
Yes.
Seats good. That was something we probably did lack a little bit of. Was this? We needed
yes.
a bit more of this
Yes.
side support.
Sure.
Oh, the seats are good.
Yes.
I don't know what the box is. Is it?
Oh, there's.
Is
Yeah.
it a get track box?
Jump in, Norman.
No. I'll just.
Have a look. I think.
I might just.
Can you tell us about what's in the glove box? There's some.
The glove box is just
what-
a handbrake.
modern.
No.
The handbrake's
Sorry?
in
The
there.
handbrake is hidden in the glove box.
Right.
What is the gearbox?
The gearbox is our own 5-speed, all aluminium box.
Oh, who's mate?
It's our own.
Oh, you know.
Designed by
sorry.
Eagle.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, it's your
Yeah.
own.
Yeah, the engine's our own, all aluminium, 4.7 litre
Oh, I see.
engine, had a fuel injection, aluminium diff, all
And
aluminium body.
The body's on it because your
All
first
aluminium.
one was steel, wasn't it? The first Speedster.
No, the first one was all
Was
aluminium.
aluminium?
Yeah, it had the steel block.
Ah,
and the
right.
steel-
That's it. I knew there's some steel
Yes,
involved.
yeah.
But this is the ultimate Speedster so far, and this is the
This is our
second one.
lightweight version, yeah,
Yes.
the second one,
Yes.
all aluminium.
Yeah.
Fantastic machine.
Not bad, not bad.
I've driven the first one, and I'm pretty
you?
sure you'd approve.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it's very impressive.
How many do you
very
think you'll make? Are you making them to order or?
Yeah, they're all
Or-
going to be for order, bespoke to order. We
I
don't
see.
want to make a very, very small number. Keep them nice and exclusive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, very nice. Very good.
Still very much the E-Type, but
Oh yes.
taking it a stage further.
Well, of course, you can always improve over the years. I mean, materials change a bit.
Absolutely.
You get better materials.
Well,
better,
exactly.
Better ways of producing the.
This is something you
Pressing
really
them.
had to battle with, wasn't it? Really,
Oh,
poor
yeah,
quality,
yeah.
things
Poor-
like
yeah, that's
casting
right.
quality and that sort of
Well,
thing.
you've got to
It's-
remember that Sir William Lyons fixed the price, and we've got to produce it at that price.
Yes, yes.
I mean, time and again when I was testing something and looked at it, then found something you could improve it a little bit better by spending another 1p or 2p on it. But soon as Lyons heard that it was going to be a bit more money, you stick with what we've got. Use it.
This engine looks very impressive, doesn't it? Of course, we still have the polished cam
Well, I was
covers that
gonna
Sir
say-
William specified all those years ago when it was being famously
Still
designed.
staying the basic design.
Yes, I mean, it was
This is-
famously
this
being
is-
designed during the fire watching, during the war.
This is all new, you see, because now
Yes.
you've got these new mouldings and plastic
Sure,
things,
carbon
which
fibre.
we didn't have those days.
Indeed. No, it's moved
And so
on.
you can really get some lovely stuff
Absolutely.
turned out in this
Yes,
stuff, you know.
yes.
Very nice.
Maybe you should come out of retirement and go back into developing these things. Now
I think
with all
I think
these,
I
new-
could. Yeah, I think we'll do that.
Okay, well we'll
Yeah.
see what we can arrange.
Yeah.
It certainly looks superbly impressive. I know,
I like
being Eagle, the engineering.
I like the embezzlement
Yes.
of Eagle on the
Yes.
carburetor. That's nice.
Well, it's a superb company. I know the integrity of the engineering will be first
Oh,
class
yeah,
if it has
yeah.
the Eagle name on it. It's
Superb.
it's a great concept.
It
Look
is.
terrific, doesn't it?
That's right.
And still very much an E-Type,
Yeah.
just
yeah.
as all started with you all those years
That's
ago.
right. That's right.
Terrific.
That's right.
Well, Norman, it's been great to talk to you.
Yep.
Thank you very much for your time.
All right, Philip.
And I hope
thank
you enjoy the rest of this amazing event.
Well, we're still going to carry it on until the finish today. That's it.
Great stuff.
Thank you. Thank
Thanks.
you.
Thank you for talking to us.